All right, so the goal here is that I have this project I've been working on, the Pluralsight Publisher. And what I'd like to do is generate an empty Word document from it, or I should say a Word document with a little bit of text in it. It's for something I do to organize my Pluralsight courses. So what I'm showing you here is what I actually went through to use something called Spire.doc, having never used it before, having no idea how it worked or anything like that. And I'm showing you this because it turns out to be a pretty easy process. So I searched for Spire as a NuGet package after right-clicking on the Pluralsight Publisher, and I found Spire.doc for .NET. I read down through it a little bit, and I saw that there's a free version, which is nice. There are also paid versions that offer additional functionality, but via the process of experimentation, I see that I don't need those, at least not for now. So installation looks to be pretty easy. Accept the license agreement, sort of standard stuff. The installation does not take long, and things get added. So I brought up a browser window because the next thing I did was start to Google around a little bit because I wanted to see if I could find a tutorial on how to use this. And that didn't produce anything immediately obvious, but given that I had previous contact with the company eIceBlue, I knew where to go, so I wound up looking up some information I had and typing in the link manually for the tutorial. I'm not sure exactly how to get to it from their site. Yeah, so there's no actual words as such on the introduction page, so eventually I got tired of fumbling around and didn't think it would make for particularly compelling footage, so I just typed it in. But I almost didn't need to, because when I did get to the tutorial and kind of click through it, it was incredibly easy to get started, as you'll see here in a second. And that's one of the reasons I'm posting this, and you know, will continue to probably post some of my adventures with it, is because this is really dead simple. It's kind of nice, and you don't have to deal with any of the interop stuff that creates problems, especially where Microsoft doesn't support it on a headless process on a server or anything like that. This does not suffer, as I understand it, from any such problems along those lines. So here I'm coming to the quick start guide. I did not read through it a ton, as you probably do, or maybe you don't. Maybe I'm just foolhardy this way. I scroll down immediately to look for a code example. I'm not big on reading. I'm more big on IntelliSense and hacking and figuring things out. So I saw all I needed to do, which was the library I needed to bring in, the object I needed to instantiate. So what I've got here, and you're going to see some tests go red, and I didn't fix those because it's going to require an abstraction that I won't do for the purposes of this video. But what I'm doing here in this Create Module Directories folder is I am, for each Pluralsight module, I am generating a folder where I'm going to keep my work product for it. And right now I create a folder called Recordings, a subdirectory. And the other thing I want to do is create a Word document called Script. And that's where I script out some of the talking sections of my Pluralsight module. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to instantiate a new document in Spire's namespaces. And then I'm going to declare a paragraph in the document, in a section, as it were. And I'm going to add some text to that paragraph by calling append text. And that's it. Now, I'm sure there's all sorts of other things you can do, but hey, for me, this was enough. This was kind of like a slightly upped version of Hello World. I just wanted to see if this works. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to say I want to save this to a file, and I'm going to name the file script. Well, I'm going to give it the path I need here in this manager that I'm creating. But once I do that, I'm going to combine it with a script.doc, or docx, I think I did. And then I'm going to go and fire this up and actually see how it runs. So you'll get to see kind of what my little Pluralsight creation module manager thing looks like. And basically the goal of this is to automate creating a bunch of folders and documents and such that I've been creating by hand, one of which is this script.docx file. So here's what the previous output of running this application looked like. There's module 1. It has a recordings folder in it. There's a second module that also has a recordings folder in it. So what I'm going to do now is show you the product of doing this again. I'm going to fire up the application and regenerate this. So I'm going to open my project, which I've defined, Pluralsight project, and there's module 1 and 2, and it's this create working directory button that generates all this stuff. And now there's script.docx. You can see that there's this evaluation warning, and then there's our text.